My name is Liany Mateo. I am a bassist. I was born and raised in Jersey City, New Jersey, and I'm New York City based. Both of my parents are Caribbean. Jersey City is an incredibly diverse place to grow up, so I feel very lucky that that's in my background. I'm from the south side of Jersey City, a neighborhood called Greenville, which was predominantly Black American, Black West Indian. Just a lot of different people from different backgrounds, but it gave me a lot of pride in my Caribbean heritage and also really steeped me into, Black American culture because all of my friends were in this neighborhood and we all grew up talking different languages, but having this commonality of being in America and having all these things, this diasporic thing in common. So at the time, I think it was hard for me to appreciate it, but now, post-college and in my professional world, I think it is a very big part of who I am and what I value in the world. I started playing the bass when I was 13, and how that started was that I went to a performing arts school in 7th grade that had just opened up in Jersey City. And I knew right away I wanted to play the bass. And at that time I was super into like 70s punk music and classic rock, and all my favorite people were bass players. And I think naturally I really liked the idea of being in the background and supporting other people. The first music I remember listening to in my house was like merengue, bachata, dance hall. My dad is from Guyana, he's Indo-Guyanese, so there was like a lot of Hindu music, but West Indian music and Indian music from that part of the world is very different. It's very steeped in the dance tradition. So I grew up watching a lot of people dance all around me my entire life. And then when I became a teenager, you kind of want to be different than how you grew up. And when I started playing the bass, someone showed me a video of Wes Montgomery. And I was like, okay, this is cool. And that same teacher gave me a CD for Monk and Mingus. And then later on, someone gave me a compilation of like jazz throughout history. And I listened to Charlie Parker for the first time, and I listened to Horace Silver for the first time. A big part of what I listened to, I loved hard bop, I loved bebop. And even now, like those are my favorite records. So it also set a precedent for me, like in a lot of different styles of music, because even now as a professional musician, I perform a lot of different types of styles. I think what music gave me and what has led me to stick with it professionally was the idea of community. You're meeting other people who have commonalities with you, and you don't feel so alone all the time. Thinking about the lineage of where I come from, whether it's ancestrally, like maybe where my family comes from, but also the ancestry you get when you become a member of this community and this music. So I think about all the bass players that came before me, like Mill Hinton, Paul Chambers, and Linda O and Christian McBride, the whole lineage, the whole continuum of this music, and how much they've sacrificed to become artists and to have something to say, for me to have the freedom and have choices and options to do that. I think what defines me as a musician is still something that I'm looking at and looking for. At this stage of my career, very beginning, I'm being challenged in a lot of different ways, whether it's personally or musically, artistically, spiritually, all these different things. And right now, I'm looking at different mediums of what defines what I like and what I want to do. What keeps me going is honestly, I just love to swing. I just love to play the bass, and I love to swing, and I love to groove. And that feeling when you're on stage and you're, especially like maybe it's a situation where maybe you don't all know each other, but being a bass player and you come in and you know what you're doing and you just make the band sound like a band, that feeling, it's like there's nothing, it makes me realize like all this other stuff, all the travel stuff you have to deal with, all the personal stuff, all the people talking to you a certain way, all these difficulties we have, it's like that feeling of like being in the moment and just like having fun and playing music is what keeps me going. My biggest dream for this music is equity. This music belongs to us, and I would love to see a change of who has access to jazz. So I would love more boundaries and more respect for everyone. You shouldn't have to earn safety in your workspace, and I would love to see that for everyone.